want you to imagine your childhood, or more specifically your teenage years. So you would be a high school student, you might have done a sport, you might have been involved in clubs, you might have hung out with friends or gone on vacation with your family. Now I'm a high school student, and I've done all of those things, but there's one thing in my life that's made it a bit different than most of how my other friends have lived their lives. I have a younger brother, and his name is Braden. This is Braden, and he has autism. So when I was 9 years old, Braden was born, so we're 9 years apart, and when I was 10, he was diagnosed with autism. That changed my life drastically, and I think one of maybe a memory you might be familiar with is getting into Boston Latin School. I got into Boston Latin School when I was 12, and my parents didn't really have that much time to congratulate me. I think most of my friends maybe were treated to dinner. I didn't go out to dinner, I got a pat on the back, which is fine, but I think that it would have been very different if Braden had not had autism, because when Braden got autism and was diagnosed, we stopped going out to dinner. It would be years before we actually went out to dinner again as a family. Braden at a restaurant is very, very curious. Now he behaves himself very well. It's great. But I remember when we first brought him to a restaurant, he screamed, he cried, he wouldn't eat his food, and he has a very limited diet, so it's very hard to bring him to restaurants. We have to bring his food with us. And even now, we have to have an iPad with us. We have to have, toys for him to play with. And that's one way that his autism has affected just our family life. I don't even want to think about going on vacation with my brother. But the first time that I met someone who knew what I was going through was when I was 14, when I was in 8th grade, and it was here. And I realized that by this time I realized that none of my friends really understood what it was like to have a sibling. All my friends would really care about me and would know who Braden was and be great with him. But no one really understand what I meant when I said I was up until 2. And it wasn't because I was doing my Latin homework. Because my brother was crying, or, he was at the hospital for some reason. And it wasn't until, for some reason, I brought up my brother, and I had a friend in the class I had known for a year, and he said, my sister has autism. And having that connection is so profound. I don't think I ever even realized what it was to not have sympathy for one, that empathy. And today I'd love to talk to you about the project I'm doing, my Capstone project. Stemming from this, I'd gone afterwards to support groups and things like that. And I met other people who were more willing to talk about their experiences and more open to sharing the other things that I also have gone through. But I also thought I'd really love to have this at BLS, and I wish that I could look up online things about siblings, and I would find things for me instead of for parents or for children on the spectrum or for doctors. I think at 12, I didn't understand what ABA therapy was until I saw it. I didn't understand really what autism was. I didn't even know what autism was when my brother was diagnosed. So part of this Capstone project, I want to create a website that is directed towards siblings, and so this page will have more kid-friendly, teenage-friendly versions of ABA therapy, what autism is, and I want to extend it past just autism. I want to incorporate all developmental disorders, because I realized during this project there's more than just autism and siblings of autistic children. There's Down syndrome and Angelman syndrome, which brings me to another aspect of my project. I'm also creating a sibling group here at school. I don't have too many people now, but these siblings are people I've known for a really long time, and I had no idea that they had siblings until much after our friendship progressed. And I hope that I can help younger students, 6s, 8th graders, 9th graders, and maybe get mentors for them to help them go through BLS and have someone who knows what they're going through. So I would like to leave you with this. This is one statistic I saw a couple years ago. I don't know if you've seen this before or you've known this, but this is on a lot of websites. It's like Autism Now, Autism Speaks, and this is very generally accepted. But I'd like you to take a look at this. This is something you don't always see. They don't always talk about this. Autism is rising exponentially, and I'm not talking about any other developmental disorders. I'm not talking about Asperger's or Rett syndrome or any of the other quote-unquote part of the autism spectrum. This is just autism. And if this number is 100 times higher than 10 years ago, and it's still rising, it makes me wonder how many other siblings are out there right now and not getting services, and how many will there be in the future? I'd like you to think about that. Thank you.
All right, great.